It's the Franklin Show, live from Franklin, with America's favorite adopted pup, Franklin Delano Roosevelt Lloyd Wright Sinatra Seltzer, and his friend and favorite Franklin dog adopter, Michael Seltzer. I'm your announcer, Ed Victor, voice of a million of the best commercials. And now, my biggest break ever. Here's Franklin.
Oh, it's so great to be back in the studio. Thank you to my fabulous band and to you people out there. Oh my God. God bless you all. Look, and the people up there in the cheap seats. Thank you so much for being here on the Franklin Show, live in studio. It is a pleasure to be back and in the studio here with all of my friends, this great audience, the cast of characters, and we have an exceptional show coming up right after these words.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Franklin Show. Franklin and I are sitting here, and I am very, very happy to introduce to you one of the major voice talents, and you'll recognize his voice because he was monumentally successful here in the Detroit area, but he's moved on well beyond that. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend and his, Ed Victor. Hi, Ed.
Hi, Michael. Good to see you.
And he's a great drummer too. This guy can play the drums like maybe even as good as Ringo Starr. I don't know.
Yeah, well, being in bar bands isn't what it used to be, right?
Yeah, right. So, okay, so you, back in the day, back in the 70s, when I first came to know you,
Yeah.
as a voice talent, as an actor, you've been the spokesman for the Detroit Metro Ford dealers for decades.
It's the summer sales event going on now at your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Check out the new 2015 Ford F-150.
Working with our friend Rick Bardis and Jane Engelhard. They were my clients all the way up until the time I retired 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But let's talk about where you started and where you are today.
Here I am.
Use your good voice for it. Yeah.
Okay. So I started out doing the high school announcements, truly. I grew up in Farmington, and I was the morning announcement guy at Farmington High School. Okay. I went to broadcasting school and became a disc jockey at a small market station down in Ohio called WKTN. And I was the 6 to midnight jock. And I knew I was always going to be a voice guy, always. So when I came back to Detroit, I got my first break by being the spokesperson for RJ Leeds Furniture. If anybody remember that?
Yeah,
you sure do better. If you are friendly, hurry, sail in soon. So that's really my first foray into being on. They actually put me on camera too, so I was the on-camera guy for RJ Leeds Furniture, and from there it just, I did Meyer Jewelry Stores. I'm trying to think of everything I've done in Detroit.
Who was the ad guy for RJ Leeds? Was that Barry Leader? Who was that?
Oh, you know what? The guy did it himself. His name was Leonard Singer.
Leonard Singer.
Oh, and then it was, who had the account was Brogan and Partners.
Oh, okay. Marcy Brogan.
Marcy Brogan. And so they hired me to be the spokesperson. And
I'll tell you a true story about Marcy Brogan. She worked for WB Donor. And I was friends with Richard Golden from DOC. And I would pop into Richard's office unannounced, and I would do a pratfall over an ottoman like Dick Van Dyke, on the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Sure.
And one day, Richard was in his office having a big meeting with his ad agency people, WB Donor, and I just walk in the door and I do my pratfall. And Marcy Broder said to me after that, she had decided she needed to strike out on her own because she so admired my ability to just completely do whatever I wanted to do, and in the stupidest of circumstances. I wasn't embarrassed by it, and Richard just laughed his ass off. And she
You
then
handle
told me,
DOC?
that's,
Did you
huh?
did you handle the DOC account at one
No,
time?
no, no. I handled the competition. First Optometry Eye Care Centers,
Ah,
which
okay.
became Optimize.
Okay.
Yeah.
EIO. No,
Yeah,
EMI.
yeah, 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 yeah. That's right. So, all right. So anyway, that was so Leeds Furniture, then Meyer, and then what else?
Let's see. Schiffrin Willens, I was the voice of. Diety Diaper Service, I was the voice of. Freder Appliance, I was the voice of.
Oh,
I
yeah.
did this for a little while. At first, it was Ed Kelly, but then they switched from Ed Kelly and hired me to do Bell Tire. Remember Bell Tire? Is that still
Oh,
around?
of course. Yeah.
Yeah. AC Delco, Fago, Lionel Trains. I was the voice of some toy trains for Lionel Trains. Of course, I did the Detroit Auto Show every year. Oh, and then Spirit Airlines for about 13 years. Call 1-800-772-7117. And of course, then the biggest one there is Southeast Michigan Ford Dealers. It's going on 34 years. I've been the voice of Ford for 34 years. Think Ford first. So,
And the on-air spokesperson.
correct. When they want me to be. So
Yeah.
which is cool because I've got family in Detroit still, and
Yeah.
I'm a huge Lions fan. Matter of fact, I've got my niece is here from Detroit. They're out in the back. So
Well, I saw that you were in Detroit a month ago or so, and I was kind of pissed off that you didn't reach out to me. But
in and out.
yeah, you got people to see, places to go.
Places to go. I think the last time I was there, a friend of mine who used to be my neighbor, also a big Detroit fan, he flew me up to we went to the Lions game.
Yeah.
That was it.
Good.
In and out. Yeah. So
Well, I wouldn't go to the Lions game, but that's just me. So, all right, and then but you continue to be the Ford spokesman, right?
I continue to be the Ford spokesman, and that's it's been a wonderful ride. They've been quite loyal.
That's a long run.
Yeah, 34 years, and now I'm the legal voice for Chase Sapphire Bank nationally. So you hear me on, and this is all I say: Chase Sapphire Bank, member FDIC.
And you get paid big bucks for that too.
It's all union, baby.
That's the life.
So it's been delightful, and I've been very fortunate. There's a bunch of other stuff that I do. I'm on contract with a couple TV stations. I'm the voice for Spectrum News, and coming up, fingers crossed. I've been working on a deal for 8 months. I'm waiting on the contract, but I should be the new voice of CNBC.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's huge.
Yeah, it's huge. They're putting the paperwork together. I hope I didn't jinx it, but
well,
it's a promo voice, so
we won't tell anybody. We only have thousands of listeners and watchers.
Thousands upon thousands. Yeah.
But so that's all good. Now I know the industry has changed. It ain't what it used to be. We've had numbers of conversations with people like you and me who have been in the media for decades, and how different it was back then. Well, it doesn't matter. I've had a lot of people on the show that are representative of the 70s where we all started in radio and TV, and it's a different environment. But here you are, still doing what you do.
Still plugging away.
And you've done voiceover for some of the big award shows, have you not?
I have. I've done a lot of the award shows. There's the Promax out in LA or New York. Award shows. Gosh, it's some of the Detroit award shows. I did something at the Fillmore East where I was the host. And darn it, if I can't remember what it was for, but that was a lot of fun.
Well, I thought for some reason you had done the Academy Awards or something like that.
No, it was a friend of mine.
Oh, well. Will you give me his number so I can have him on the show? That was really the guy I wanted to talk to. I completely screwed up here on this thing. All right. So, and you were in the ad business for a while too, with that crazy Deanne Forbes, who's a friend of mine. And Victor Forbes.
Victor Forbes Advertising. I was a partner with her for 4 or 5 years, and then from there, I left and I was a creative director at McCann Erickson, at J. Walter Thompson, at Young and Rubicam. And then I started my own agency again called Victor Associates. We had about 15 employees. Right.
So basically, you couldn't keep a job. I'm one of those few
Basically,
people.
yeah.
I had one business for my entire 40 years, and because no one would hire me, and I often walked out on myself. I'll tell you, I had some knockdown dragouts with me. And I'd walk out the door, and then I'd come back and give myself a raise.
Well, you know, with Victor Associates, we had about 15 or 16 clients, and the good news was, guess who was the voice for all those clients?
Gee, I wonder. This other guy who did the Academy Awards?
That's exactly right.
No, that's a good way to make a living when you can do your own. And by the way, I will tell you, I had paid myself as a voice talent and an actor for years, and it provided us with health care. It provided us with Blue Cross. So I would do some of my own commercials for my clients, and that was a great thing. So, all right, my friend, I am just happy to see you, happy to hear you.
Thank you.
And you've got an amazing life. I follow you every day. You got crazy adventures like mine with your family.
Yeah, it's fun. It's been good.
So,
it's been a good life.
Yeah. So thank you for coming on the Franklin Show. And
My pleasure.
I think we're going to be doing something off camera here, but that'll be a big surprise to my audience. If you recognize this voice, you may hear it announcing the show, because as people who watch the show know, I fire my announcer every week.
Every week, it's somebody else. Okay.
Right. I had Purton. I had Doug Podell. I had Andalisi. I've had Marie Osborne. I've had Kevin O'Neill. I had Ed Kelly. I've had them all.
Yeah.
And they never work out. So let's see how this kid, Ed Victor, does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So stand by. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend Ed Victor, thank you. Thank you for being here. And we'll be right back. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Hey, welcome. Welcome. Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. My guest is Jack Ashton, legendary record promoter.
Yes.
And man, oh man, what a history you have. First of all, you look fantastic.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And you are a native Detroiter.
Yes, sir.
And you left Detroit, you went out to Los Angeles, which is, music, right?
Right.
But you're back in Detroit and, kind of bounding back and forth.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of reasons why I left. My family left and moved out of California for because they have a family, and the cost of living out there is ridiculous.
I got a son who lives there. I know.
Yeah. Right. No, it's it just got to the point where I wanted to come back here.
Yeah.
Play with my historical background. Because everything started here for me.
So let's talk about that.
Okay.
Let's talk about the origin of Jack Ashton in Detroit, in music.
Yeah.
Go.
Okay. Well, it went. The whole thing started basically at Finkel, Wyoming, is where I grew up.
Yeah.
Okay. And back then I was listening to the Four Seasons and all the Bobby Rydell's, Del Shannon, and everything, and it was before the Beatles. So So I was collecting those kind of records. Okay, as a kid. And then obviously when the Beatles came out, everybody wanted to be in a band. Right. So I was in a band. So I was a lead singer and of the Essential Five. That was my first band. And then, but then my parents moved from where I grew up there when I was just about, I was almost 16, and we moved to Birmingham. So being a middle-class kid, and then moving to Birmingham.
That was quite an awakening, right?
That was a big leap. Because I was singing out of a little microphone and a little amplifier when I was in the band. And then when I came out to Birmingham, I joined another band, and there was columns, electric voice, everything. And it was like a whole different ball game, you know? So I stayed in that band. It was called the Advocates. And then when I was going to Groves in Birmingham, I realized that
that's where so many and I've got a segment coming up on the show called Kids Who Done Good.
Yeah.
And they're all the kids like mine and
Yeah.
others who followed in their parents' footsteps to some extent
Yeah.
in business, and all came out of Groves, Birmingham.
Groves and Seaholm,
Right.
Brother Rice, that whole
Yeah.
clique in there. And so I started finding out who the bands were that were at Groves. And all of a sudden I started managing two to start. The first one was the Poor Souls, the second one was the Herd. And and then I got the Gang. And then the Stuart Avery Assemblage, Jesus. I mean, so
and all of these artists you can probably find on a K-Tel record, right?
No.
The greatest hits of Detroit and Groves High School.
Yeah, right.
On K-Tel. Nobody
afraid.
even knows what K-Tel Records is today.
No, K-Tel. Yeah, I do, and you do.
I do, and you do. Yeah.
But no,
and three other people in the audience.
There you go.
All right.
But because I love your audience, by the way.
I know they're fabulous
They're
from
fabulous.
all over the country.
Yes,
they
are.
line up for tickets. It's unbelievable.
I saw them outside when I was coming in.
I know.
Yeah, it's quite.
I saw you signing autographs. All right.
Yeah.
So,
but,
all right.
So what happened is I started booking them around, and there was another booking agent at the time. His name was Jerry Patlow, and he was doing some other local bands and stuff like that. So I was sort of competing against him, but I was a sophomore. I was 17 at Groves, and then during my years at 17 and 18. My band started opening for Bob Seger, and that's how I first met Punch.
Yeah.
And
Punch Andrews, who was Bob Seger's manager, and legendary.
Yeah. Punch was in 2 of my weddings, by the way.
Is that right?
2 of them. Yeah.
You didn't get it right the first time, so you had to do it again?
Well, we won't get into the marriages.
All right, we won't.
They're
get
all
into
in
that.
the book.
Yeah. Oh, we'll talk about the book
yeah,
too.
right.
Right.
But what happened from there is that I was working at Discount Records in Birmingham. It was a record store right on Maple. And there was another little record store in town called Marty's, and upstairs was Cream Magazine.
Oh, yeah.
And so I go back right into that whole hub, and Punchy's office was right on the same block. All of us were all in the same area.
Yeah.
So, but then something extraordinary happened to me is I got introduced to Russ Gibb. And all of these bands that I just mentioned all played the Grandy Ballroom.
Sure.
And they all opened for Jeep's bands.
Yeah.
And Jeep Holland from Ann Arbor had the Rationals, the Apostles, the Time, and then he eventually took the Gang from me, but that was okay because Jeep was just amazing. I don't know if you've heard stories about Jeep Holland, and he was the manager of Rational. And him and Robin Seymour and that whole deal that you
and I know had a great relationship with Robin and brought him back to Detroit.
Yeah. Oh, when I was in the Advocates, I was on Swingin' Time.
I'll bet you were.
Yeah. No, they had a Band of the Land contest, and my band ended up being on there.
And I was in that audience at some point, probably applauding, just like this audience does for me.
Well, that was my first experience at CKLW or anything to do over there in Windsor before Rosalie. Because I ended up knowing Rosalie really well.
Of course.
And who was a real dear friend. But during
the lady with the power, the lady with the tower.
Yes. Yeah.
Rosalie Trombley.
Yeah, absolutely.
Legendary,
she was like a second mother to me, but I was very grateful to her. But the whole Grandy thing was just amazing.
I was slightly too young. It closed in '69, and in '69 I was 14 years old. And so I wasn't able to get to the Grandy. But Russ Gibb, legendary disc jockey.
Oh, yeah.
He was the one who found out that Paul was dead. He spun the record backwards, and that made news all over the world.
Yeah.
That was Russ Gibb. Yeah. Bless his heart.
Right. Absolutely. Russ was another pinnacle part of my career of hanging out with him. And then once all this was going on, and so Punchy was aware of my working at the record store, having all these bands.
Yeah.
And so one thing led to another. And there was a guy by the name of Bob Sugar Schwartz, and he was head of Arc JK, which was one of the main distributors here in Detroit.
Yeah.
And they had all the music lines, everything from Warner Brothers to ABC Records to Mercury and everything.
Wow.
And they needed a guy to work the Mercury line.
Yeah.
So Punchy told Bob to, and so I ended up getting that job. And my first job was working with Mercury Records
Wow.
back in when I was 20, 21. Yeah. So then from
All right,
there,
and then so fast forward to present times.
there's been multitudes of record companies and all sorts of things. I mean, I did national albums for Mercury, worked with Rod Stewart, broke BTO.
You got Rod Stewart's hair, man. So, or he got it from you.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
He had it before me.
Yeah?
I remember seeing Rod Stewart at the Grandie.
Did you?
And nobody
Yeah.
knew who he was.
No, I get that.
because he was in the Jeff Beck group.
Yeah.
And everybody knew who Jeff Beck was
Right.
from the Yardbirds. So when they came over, they had the singer, and that was really Jeff Beck is the one who introduced Rod Stewart to the world.
Isn't that amazing when you go back to the history of music?
Yeah.
And some of the musicians who were performing here for next
Yeah.
to nothing
Right.
and became obviously legends. But,
Right,
back in the
right.
60s, that was fertile ground.
Oh no, because that whole English invasion
Yeah.
was coming over, and they were all playing, and like the Who were like almost a local band here at one time. I mean, they played Southfield High School.
I can't believe that.
Did you,
Seriously.
you knew that?
No, I did not know that.
Oh yeah, that one of the first places.
The Who played Southfield.
Southfield High School.
And what do you think a ticket cost for that, or was it
Jeez,
free?
I don't know. It was probably $2.50,
Oh,
$2.
that's
that
amazing.
kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
and when they did Tommy,
Yeah.
they the band wanted to premiere the Tommy live at the Grandie. And
Wow.
So I mean, when you get to see the MC5 as the house band all the time,
Yeah.
Iggy, and,
Right.
and then you see Procol Harum, Cream, Led Zeppelin. I mean, this is the first time I've ever seen these people before.
Sure.
And they, their records were just literally coming out, and I was at the record store seeing
Right.
this stuff coming
Right.
out. So it was like, a lot going on at that one
That
time.
was an amazing period in music
70s
history.
was unbelievable.
And we talk about that all the time. I had Gary Graff on the show.
Gary knows. He writes these
and
amazing books.
He's written these great books. But the fact is, so much great music came out of that era. And they're still, these artists are legendary icons still performing. When you see Mick Jagger, I just saw a clip of Ringo Starr dancing around on a stage, and he's 84, 85 years old, and he looks like he's 60.
Oh, no, it's funny that Ringo actually looks younger than Paul.
He does.
He does. I mean, he really is.
He
for
has
some
aged
reason,
magnificently.
Yeah, he really looks
And then, of
great.
course, Keith Richards, we were talking about,
Yeah.
there's a mime or a meme, whatever they call them,
Yeah.
of Keith Richards holding two little babies, and says Keith Richards with Adam and Eve.
Right, no. And that's almost kind of true. I know they pick on Keith about that, but I'll tell you, Keith gets a big charge out of that.
I'll bet he does.
Yeah,
well, because he's still vertical.
Oh, yeah, no.
And after all the abuse,
the abuse and so
many.
Did you know about the transfusions he had?
No, I did not.
He had 2 blood transfusions.
I did not know that.
He had to have it because of the heroin problem
Oh,
that he had.
oh,
and,
yeah.
yeah. Pretty amazing stuff. And then of course poor Ronnie, he's been fighting cancer for some time, and fortunately he's still with us too. So I'm
that's
glad
great.
to see that. But no, I mean, I've rubbed elbows with all these guys.
I know
and, working with a lot of them, being on tour with Robin Trower. I broke the Babies. John Waite and I are good friends. It's been a phenomenal career to have, especially then. At ABC Records, I got to work with Joe Walsh, Steely Dan.
Wow.
So
you have a book coming out.
Yeah, I've got a book.
Let's talk about your book.
Yeah, the book is going to be, it's really an autobiography. I decided that, I'm just going to
tell your stories.
take all my clothes off and tell it.
Yeah.
You know, all the affairs, the backstage, the whole. But it's not going to be just the record company business.
Cover your ears.
Yeah, I know.
This is a family show.
Yeah, no X-rated stuff.
Okay,
You know,
all right.
okay. Yeah. But no, I've got a really an amazing girl that's writing the book, and I'm really happy that how it's coming along. And
So when do you project that it's going to be out and available?
it could be this fall. I mean, it's really been coming along really well, and I'm really impressed by it. We're doing interviews right now with a lot of my family, friends, and other music people that I've been involved with in my life. They're going to have some things in it as well. So it's going to be sort of just a family tell-all thing, you know.
Right.
I had to obviously clear it all with my daughter, you know.
Of course.
Because my daughter doesn't know everything, but you know,
Well, I wrote a book about my life, and I didn't ask my kids for permission about anything.
Oh.
And I'm fairly convinced that they haven't read it either. So I haven't had, there's been no backlash. But there was nothing unsavory. I have a very reasonable life. I'm married to the same woman for 49 years.
Oh, good for you.
And I have these two, my Franklin and my Winston, are the light of my life.
Yeah.
But I do want to follow up with you.
I like your shirt, though.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I want to follow up on the book when you're ready to announce.
Oh, I will.
Because I'll have you back.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of book authors come on this show, and
Mm-hmm.
boom, you hit the charts, baby.
Yeah. No, we've got a lot of things planned for that, and
Good.
It's just an exciting time for me, and being able to keep coming back to Detroit and running into all these people that are, my friend Johnny B. Bedanjic, I was involved with Breaking the Rockets here in Detroit with the No Ballads album.
Oh, wow.
And The Desire was the big hit off of it. I worked directly with Punchy and Gary Lazar, who was the day-to-day manager. And so I got to tour and work with the Rockets. I'm the guy that broke the King Bees here in Detroit. That was me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, but
you got a lot of great stories to tell, and I'm sure the book will be fascinating reading for music fans and Detroiters and the rest
but there's a lot of love in it, and my approach to the music industry was, I'd like to think that it was a little different than some of the other people, because I was very particular on where I worked.
Yeah.
And who I worked with. So it was.
I was too, and then I got this, and I can't be too particular because who else is going to want me?
This is great.
I know.
Love this. This is great.
No, we
Michael.
just won a national award. I'm very proud.
I saw that.
Very proud.
Congratulations.
We do a big bang up ententement show here, and we've got fans all over the world.
Did Franklin get a little Academy Award?
He's getting. The award is his. It ain't mine. They're tuning in for him.
Oh, good.
All right, Jack. I am so appreciative that you came out and took the time to come to the studio. I want to stay in touch with you.
Please.
And you're all over Facebook, so if you want to find Jack Ashton, but do you have a website or anything?
No, I don't do that.
Okay.
No,
all right.
I don't do that.
So we won't put up a www.jackashton.com
because
that won't work.
No, I don't. I don't put that stuff up. I mean, it's too much.
All right.
Yeah.
I will stay in touch, and we will let our audience know. And when you're ready to come back with the book, and autograph it.
Okay, sure.
And I'll give you a paw print from Frank. It's right there on the desk.
I'm taking it home right here.
Yeah, there you go.
I know.
Jack
I love
Ashton.
That. God bless you.
Thanks
buddy.
so much.
Nice
God bless you.
Yeah.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Frank.
Thank you.
All
right, folks. We'll be right back
Bye.
with more fun and entertainment here on the Franklin Show. It's all over the world.
That's right. Thanks a lot.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Franklin Show. It is my pleasure and Franklin's pleasure to introduce to you one of those kids who done good. That's what I'm calling this. Jeremy Sasson is the CEO and founder of Heirloom Hospitality. Jeremy, welcome to the Franklin Show.
Thanks for having me. I'm thrilled to be here. Franklin, great to see you.
Yes, well, we're big fans. We're big fans. So So this, what I'm doing in this series is a lot of people that that you went to school with, that you went to either high school with or college with, and you all came from the mean streets of West Bloomfield, Birmingham, Franklin, and you've risen in your careers, and I'm proud to know you. And you created this hospitality group. So let's talk about Heirloom Hospitality and your restaurants.
Sure. So Heirloom Hospitality started in 2011 with one local restaurant here in Birmingham, Michigan, which is Townhouse Birmingham, which still is kicking and screaming today. And like all great things, they all start from somewhere. And that really kind of helped foster the beginning. I was 25 years old when I opened the first one. And, now 15 years later, we have 4 much larger restaurants running, plus nearly 300 employees in the company. The next year looks to probably double the capacity of the company as a whole as far as revenue is concerned, and hopefully grow the company to about 500 employees.
And that in and of itself is an amazing feat. But let's get into specifics. I've read recently that you're opening up a new location in Nashville.
Yeah. So Nashville will be the first restaurant for us to leave Michigan in our group. It's an extension or second version, I would say, of Prime and Proper, which is a steakhouse brand we launched in 2017 in Detroit. Super excited to take not only that project and that brand on the road and share it in a market that's just outside of my my hometown, but at the same time kind of get the idea and understanding of what it means to grow restaurants beyond our community reach locally. I think it sets the tone for us to take and hopefully take more brands and that particular brand further than maybe we even thought it could once go when we first started the first one, almost 8 years ago for that particular brand. We got a couple more coming that I haven't announced yet, but in the next, I think, 8 months or so, we'll have 2 additional stores that will come on board, which I'll publicly announce probably in the next week. Both of them. So we got a lot cooking to make it all happen.
Well, my God, why don't we do breaking news right here on the Franklin Show and announce what you're planning on in 7 days?
Of course. I won't say what they are, but I'll say where they're going.
Okay.
We have 2 restaurants that are going to go to Somerset South. One will open at the end of the summer, early fall, and it's more of a cafe concept for us. And the other one will be a full service restaurant that will open up probably around April or so. So expect to see us still doing more here in Metro Detroit, in particular, bringing kind of our brand, our energy back to the suburbs. We've been in Detroit now for the last 11 years consecutively with restaurants opening there. And so pretty excited to bring some stuff back up to the north part of town.
That's very, very exciting news, and I'm happy to be able to share it here. So that's great. Yeah, and what made you choose to go to Nashville? You're the second restaurateur that I've heard about here in the Detroit area that has chosen to open up a store in Nashville.
I mean, I see a lot of similarities in respects to just the nature of how Nashville operates as a community, as a city. It's got a great downtown core with lots of fantastic suburban sprawl that supports it. I think it has plenty of destinational sensation, both from a leisure, but even more importantly to us as a business culture. It's right now the #1 convention city in the country. It's geographically located center to the U.S. It has access to all the major markets in a very convenient space. An endless amount of growth, both from the transportational space, the airport expansion's enormous, and then not to mention, I just think, when I look at, our kind of nod to a city built, here at the Motor City. We've kind of played into this conversation where, Motor City meets Music City, where, there's a sensation of pride and gratitude within each town for what kind of has shaped and fostered who they're defined as. And I think lastly, there's just an appreciation for warmth and hospitality. When you really take care of the community, I think it gives back from all the research we've provided ourselves. So, I mean, in general, I also think we needed to go far enough away, but close enough at the same time for our next location.
Yeah.
Can get there very quickly. Time zones are pretty close and specific. But there's a lot of other little elements that I think add up, but those were it. Our location in particular in Nashville adds another kind of factor or layer to the decision. We are in the recently built Grand Hyatt that is on Broadway and 10th Street. It's a 591 room hotel with about 500,000 square feet of convention. It's at the entry of a new development part of town called Nashville Yards. And Nashville Yards has a lot of pretty amazing anchored elements to it as well. It's where Amazon built 2 respective towers that are about 2 doors over from our hotel. Put 1.5 million square feet of office building to support kind of their, what I would say, mid-America headquarters. Adjacent to that is Pinnacle Bank, and then really a very impressive development throughout Nashville Yards that kind of supports the whole thing. So number one for us, that was a huge component of going to Nashville and not just being within the downtown core, but being within a specific part of the downtown that has a story to be told. And then we thought we could tell part of that story ourselves too.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, I've been in your restaurants. You guys have it down. Hospitality is everything. You do a great job in Prime and Proper and in Townhouse, and nothing better than yours and Allie's wedding. That was the best hospitality I've ever seen. That was an unbelievable wedding.
We got to build a restaurant for the night. That was a crazy experience.
So if you can do that in a restaurant environment, man, you can hit it out of the ballpark, which you have done. Thanks, hey, man, I am proud to know you. I am proud of your accomplishments. You have been an exemplary example of dedication and devotion and professionalism. And you speak so articulately on your plans going forward. So I know you're going to continue to be massively successful. And I'm just, I'm glad to have you on the show.
Appreciate it. Yep. We, I give all the credit to my parents.
As you should. As you should. I wish my kids, one of whom is coming up next on the Franklin Show, would ever give me credit for anything. But that's another story.
I'm sure he will.
I'm sure he will too. All right. All my best to you and yours, my friend.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate you, and I thank you for taking your time to be on the Franklin Show.
Hope to see you soon.
Okay, buddy. You too. All right. Jeremy Sasson, the Heirloom Hospitality and their massive, great restaurants. We'll be right back after these words. Thanks so much. Hang on, everybody.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me.
That was perfect.
But I heard every word.
And I am so grateful to this wonderful studio audience, to my band, to my announcer, to the great cast of characters that work so hard behind the scenes making this show a reality every week. We look forward to seeing you again next week right here on The Franklin Show. Good night, everybody.